Get back there and yeah, right, yeah. Yeah. Whomever. Right. No.
Then during Katrina, then he signed executive orders that basically ban unions from working on the Katrina disaster. So what can you do for us there?
Well, the good news is that the executive order which President Bush signed banning something called project labor agreements, which all our union members know about, was such a short-sighted approach. Basically, their administration is so anti-union and anti-labor that they actually told businesses don't cooperate with unions, don't have project labor agreements. We had those all over New York. And we had to really scramble when the president signed that executive order to keep some of them going. A lot of our contractors, you know, they said this is great for us. We have reliable union labor. It's actually less expensive because you don't have to do it over again. You don't have all the kind of problems that you have down the road if you don't use good union labor. So I will, among the many things I'm going to do within the first days of becoming president, is to issue an executive order overturning the Bush executive order on PLAs. Yes, that lady, wait, right there. Yes, okay.
Today, my name is Lee. I come from Vietnam. I appreciate President Clinton when he president, and my business very good. I have business beauty shop in Glendale, and I lost business from Bush because people lost a job and they don't come to my shop anymore. The last 3 years I have no money because I'm not 65. When you become president, yes. Do you have any kind of loan for the small business so I'm able to reopen my business? Thank you.
Great question. Great question. Well, 3 quick things. Number one, small business actually does create most jobs in America now. And small businesses were really soaring during the 90s. More and more small businesses were successful. They created a market. They had a good product. And we also had a small business administration that cared about small businesses. We were there with help for, you know, the kind of technical assistance that small businesses need. We were there to, you know, give you some support, particularly minority-owned and women small businesses, which still have trouble getting money from banks that don't give them a fair shake. So I will certainly begin to do that. Secondly, I think it's important that small businesses get some help on health care and energy costs, something that is really tough for most small businesses to manage. And you know, as John Garamendi was saying, he and I worked on health care before. We learned a lot. We learned a lot about what to do and what not to do. And one of the things we learned is we're not going to require small businesses to offer health care to their employees, but we are going to give you tax credits so that if you want to, you will be able to help your employees get health care. And finally, we got to get the economy going again. You know, the economy has to produce jobs. I mean, consumer confidence is down, unemployment is up, the dollar is so weak, even though a lot of our, you know, manufacturing plants are trying to, you know, take advantage of the low dollar. We've lost so many manufacturing jobs that we're kind of behind in what these good jobs should be. So the most important thing for small business, big business, for families, for individuals, is to get the economy working for Americans again, and I will do that. Yes.
Personally, I have known since the year 2000 that I would vote for you for president. I knew you were going to run, Hillary. Okay, my daughter just text messaged me, and she works at the American Red Cross, and she wants to know if you feel any pressure being, or she says, being or running for the first woman president.
Oh, no, not at all. It is a great honor to be running to become the first woman president, to break that glass ceiling. You know, I'm very proud of that. You know, my 88-year-old mother lives with us, and she was born before women could vote in America. So when you think about all of our daughters, all of the options and opportunities they have, it's been exciting, even in my own lifetime, to see the progress. But I'm not running for president because I am a woman. I'm running because I think I'm the best qualified and experienced person to do the job for our country. Yes, I will later. Yes, right there. Okay. Yes. And I love the slogan. It's Earth,
Ready?
Energy, Technology, right?
Yes,
That's
is. Yes,
great.
ma'am. Yes. Hello, Hillary. My name is
Hi.
Frank Santana. I'm a local 11 electrician, and my question is, how do you propose to bring back our men and safely return them back home? And I'm also a member of the VFW post in La Mirada, 9148.
Good.
And my question there is the better treatment for our troops that are coming back home. And what we're having a big difficulty right now is how our government is starting to labor, discharging members with a classification of personality disorder when it really is PSD, and we need to do something about this.
You are 100% right. You know, first of all, how many veterans do we have in this audience? Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Here's what I will do. You know, as soon as I am elected, I will ask the Joint Chiefs of Staff, my Secretary of Defense, and my security advisors to give me a plan so that I can begin bringing home our young men and women within 60 days. And the reason I have to have a plan is because I don't think there will be adequate planning by the time I get there. And I worried about that last spring. I wrote to the Secretary of Defense, and I said, I'd like to be briefed on what planning you've done so that we can bring our troops home safely. And they said, we're not going to tell you. And I said, well, yes, you are. And so we had a back and forth. And we finally got a hearing, and it's classified, so I can't talk in detail about it, but I can tell you that it was pretty cursory. And I believe that, the White House did not want the Pentagon to do the kind of operational planning that, as a veteran, if you're going to move tens of thousands of troops plus equipment, you have to be really thoughtful, because we're going to take them out along these roads in convoys, which has been the principal way that we have lost, our young men and women and had so many thousands injured. I also said, look, we can begin withdrawing our troops within 60 days. I think we can bring out 1 to 2 brigades a month. But then what do we do with our civilians who are there? We have over 100,000 Americans who are working for the embassy. They're working for businesses. They're working for charitable groups. And what do we do about the Iraqis who sided with us? I went into Fallujah in 2005 with John McCain. And we were there shortly after the Marines had taken back Fallujah in a very bloody battle. And I met a lot of the young captains and majors and sergeants who had led that battle. And one young captain, whom I know pretty well now, said, if it had not been for our Iraqi translator, me and my men would not have survived. And then he said to me, but people now know that he was a translator for the Marines, so he and his family are targeted. So what are you going to do about them, Senator? And I said, well, I'm going to think really hard because I don't think it would be honorable for America to leave behind people who had been basically fighting side by side with our Marines and our soldiers.